flying. Jack.
Welcome, everybody, to FYC Film Review. I'm your host, Gagne. With me, as always, my partner in crime.
Ronaldo, what's up, buddy? How's it
Hey,
going?
man. Welcome back. I feel like we've been gone for so long, but it really hasn't been that long.
Yeah, I thought that too. I felt like we took a break, but we really didn't take a break. I think we've just been really busy, so it feels like we haven't gotten back to this.
Yeah, and we both took vacations where, we kind of got away, but didn't get away. However a vacation looks. It's not working, I guess, in
I don't
COVID.
think so. Yeah. But we're back. So I feel like we're back. So that's
We're
good.
back. We're back. It's like
So-
that, after New Year hangover, ready to, jump back in the saddle. It's snowing. I can't go anywhere,
Hey, at least you're not in
episode.
Texas. So
It's true. All our fans in Texas, we feel for you.
um
Speaking of cold
yes,
water,
I like it. I
um,
like
we
where you're
got a
going with
treat
this.
today. Yeah. A treat in that it's a 3-hour movie, and we love those. A treat that we have talked about this many, many times, and I think Ronaldo wants to fight me if I say anything horrible about this movie. But what do we have today?
We finally are doing the 11 Oscar winning movie Titanic, 1997, directed by James Cameron. And I am excited because we're going to finally put our debate to rest where we go back and forth and we talk about this movie and I give Chris a hard time. So we're finally going to get Chris's real rating on this movie. So I'm excited. Titanic, 3 hours. Here we go.
3 hours. Yes, it was felt every bit of 3 hours to me. I'm just gonna no. It's a marvel. I don't know how to describe it. Like at the time, especially, it was the biggest movie ever made. So you already threw a fun fact out with the 11 Oscar the 11 wins, but
11
it was
winnings.
like
Yeah.
nominated for like 14. It was a $200 million production, which at the time was the most expensive movie ever. Just, everything of a spectacle that you could think of. I think some of the special effects now are kind of noticeable. Obviously they've gotten so much better between 97 and where 2011 2021. Oh my god, where are we now?
2021, my
yeah,
friend.
leave that in. I messed up.
Absolutely.
What year it is. But it's good. It's young Leo, it's young Kate, it's Celine Dion's Heart Will Go On.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Did you see this movie in the theater?
I did not.
Oh,
I
missed
tried.
out.
I did. And I not that I don't appreciate the movie. I would have loved to see it in theaters, but I swear every time I had an opportunity, it was sold out. And we worked at the theater during this time and we just couldn't get in to use our passes because it was sold out. It spent 15 weeks, I think, at number one in the box office. It doesn't happen anymie.
Yeah. How did I see it and you didn't see it then?
I more free time. I don't know. Maybe I was working too much.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't get to see it in theater. So the first time I saw it was on VHS, and I remember liking the second VHS a lot more because it's more action packed and less dialogue driven. But to VHS, you had to actually change the tape. People couldn't just start it from your smart TV.
You're dating yourself, my
That's
friend.
fine. I'm gonna date it, man. I need to date it. It's just so funny how far we've come in just a short time.
Sure. One of the first things I noticed, of course, is because this is what I do, and was the score. And I
Yep.
realized that it was scored by none other than the legend James Horner, who is no longer with us anymore. He passed away in 2005 or 2015. I don't remember, but he's no longer alive. And here's the first fun fact for you. James Cameron actually wanted Enya to compose the score. And
Really?
yeah, and
Oh, that's a good fun
Enya
fact.
Enya refused it, so he got James Horner. And you'll notice throughout the movie, there's a chanting, there's a melody from the music from the score that you kind of hear it, and it's actually done by an artist called Sizzle. So it's not Celine Dion. If people are thinking it's Celine Dion who does that, that's not Celine Dion. It's Sizzle.
Interesting.
So fun fact number one, right off
That's
the
a
bat.
great fun fact. It's funny. The score does have a little bit of an Enya vibe to it when you hear that. So I can see what he wanted, and
Yeah,
Horner gave it to him, and it's good. It's really, really good.
it's great.
It's a bit repetitive towards the end, but like they start that Titanic theme, they stretch out in a lot of parts. So I still like it, but not my
I do
favorite
too.
score.
I love it. I think it's
It
so
won.
memorable.
It won best score, right? So, and best
Yeah.
song, and like everything but actor and actress. They were not happy with Leo and Kate.
That's okay. I mean, they were so young when this movie came out, right? I
Yeah,
mean, they
she
had to
was
be.
21 and he was 20.
There you go.
Yeah,
Chris
so when they
nails.
were filming, they were probably even younger. I mean, it was like a 2-year production. So,
Bill Paxton. I love my
uh,
Bill Paxton, who's
uh,
also no longer alive. Bill Paxton played the captain of the ship that was doing the dive to search for the heart of the sea diamond. Bill Paxton. Great.
he's in like every Jim Cameron movie, right? Like,
Yeah, he is.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can't. It's been there's at least half a dozen films that I know for a fact he's James Cameron's guy. Like, and he just from Terminator to Aliens to this to
True
True
Lies.
Lies, you
Yeah.
know. Um, we'll get back to Mr. Paxton, but yeah, he's great, and it's interesting how like Cameron fell in love with like the Titanic in general. Like he made documentary about it. He just they actually got real footage. Like what they show
Yeah.
you in the beginning of the movie and stuff is actual footage. And his here's another fun fact: his brother was the one who actually created this specific Panavision camera that could handle depths to go down and do these films. So
Love it. Love it.
yeah.
Such a good director. James
Oh
Cameron
yeah,
is such a great director. He's so smart and he's always finding new ways to use new technology in his movies and it works out. He's a great director, in my opinion. One of the best directors of our time, my
oh yeah.
opinion.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, how do you argue with it? Even, he does something like this, this big of a spectacle. It was number one forever. And
Yeah.
then he just outdid himself by making another big spectacle film in Avatar. And, that took over the number one spot in the box office. I mean, he knows how to make films,
He
regardless
does.
of how you feel about the love story or the length of the movie or when it, any of that. Like this movie's a good movie. He knows how to
Mhm.
make movies.
Um, but I remember seeing this movie. Remember seeing this movie in the theater, and this was the time. This was after Romeo and Juliet came out, when it was all about Leo. And I recall being kind of in the back row, and I just remember all the young gals screaming Leo, Leo, because it was all about him. And I get it. I understood why he was so big in the mid '90s. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, and in this, I think just, caused the Titanic rise to the top.
hey, there's this pun. There's a pun right there.
Hey!
Hey.
Why wait till the end? There's so many to use in this go around. Yeah, I mean, he's not bad. Like I know a lot of people like knocked him, but I think that's more like the script. They're both good in this. Like there's some overacting in some parts, but all in all, like it's done well. It holds up. They're good. I think, there's a reason it got nominated and it did so well.
Yeah, I do want to call out the overacting on especially on Leo,
Oh,
because I felt like I think it seemed like he was trying so hard to deliver certain lines. And I'm not saying he's a bad actor. He's a great actor. It's just for me in this movie, Leo wasn't that great. Just me, my opinion. There was a lot of overacting the way he delivered his lines, like, "Oh, don't ever let go, Rose. Don't ever let go." I just thought it was a little too much for me. But then again, I wasn't a fan of Romeo and Juliet. But then again, I wasn't a 14-year-old girl. So never mind. Screw what I just said.
see that? No, you have a point, but again, I think that's more like to the script writing. Like I just think there's some parts that aren't written very well. Like
Yeah.
their love story is kind of hard to believe because they meet and like a day later he's like, I know you, Rose, and one day that fire is gonna go out, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
didn't you meet yesterday? Like,
Hmm.
that she was suicidal and you helped her, and now you guys kind of have this kindred spirit thing, but like you don't know anything, man. And like she's got a dude and you're trying to move in on him.
Ooh, ooh.
So Leo,
So
not a shady character.
he was the bad guy, not Hal, not Cal. But she was tortured, man. She came up from this wealthy, or she was wealthy, I think. Then I
Yeah.
think they talked about her father dying, and they left him just a bunch of debt. So she was kind of raised in the upper class, and she probably felt like she was trapped in the world that she didn't belong, and that's why Leo really captured her heart. And that she wanted to be that. She wanted to experience something different than just the snobby, rich upper class. Okay. Damn it. Okay.
I read somewhere that the most expensive room for that trip would have been, something around the equivalent of $75,000 today. So it's a palace on the water.
On the RMS Titanic. Billy Zane. What'd you think of Billy Zane?
I love him.
He was pretty good.
He's so good as Cal. Like, you just, from everything from the way his hair flops in his face when he's getting angry, that you just want to just grab the guy and shake him. He's such a good bad guy. He's so good.
He's so arrogant and very, I don't know. Like, part of me wanted to like him a little bit and understand what he was going through, but then it's like he turns into this villain, and it's like, I can't, dude. I can't sympathize with you so much. But I mean, that's all he knew. He only came up from the upper class, and he was arrogant. He was an arrogant prick who didn't really care about anybody but himself. So I tried to find the good in him, and I couldn't. I'm sorry, Cal. I couldn't do it.
There's no good in him. You don't need to find good in him. I love that he just goes from this arrogant, prick to murderous, like, I don't care, I'm vengeful, and we're going to die anyway. So I'm going to chase you guys down in the middle of this sinking ship and start shooting at everybody.
Which I didn't get, because Rose didn't even love him right off the bat. It was so obvious that she didn't love him, but it was like, you're mine, you're going to be mine. Why would somebody want to be with somebody who didn't want to be with you? She spat in his face.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I heard that was ad-libbed by Kate.
Was it?
I heard. I was on set.
Did James Cameron call you and tell you that, Chris? Okay,
I reached out, and his people returned my calls. Yes.
Nice.
Anyhow, I just thought that was interesting.
Okay, that's fine. I'm flying, Jack. Didn't care for that scene.
Yeah. So that scene, I mean, I feel like it's probably the appropriate time to say that. Is that your worst line of the movie?
No, but it's such a memorable moment that I wanted to call it out. But shoot, if we're already there, let's do it.
I think we're there.
Okay. Let's do it.
All right. So that is that's a good one. That's actually a really good one. I almost think it might be better, because I don't like that scene either. I also don't really like the King of the World scene. It's iconic.
but you do it though, right? When you get on a boat, you go, I'm the king of. You don't do it. Neither do I. I'm just kidding. I don't do it.
No, not anymore.
I don't do it.
Not anymore. Maybe.
Okay.
I also don't slow motion my movements like Neo in the Matrix anymore. So
okay. Well,
okay. Honestly, like 5 minutes into the movie, Bill Paxton for me delivers the worst line, because honestly the movie is good. I can't find a lot of nitpicking for dialogue, but when he's talking about when he's filming himself, and he's very like cheesy with how he's delivering his lines. The character he plays, I just didn't like it. And when he's doing the documentary and he's talking about the 9 inches glass, he's like, when this baby, if this baby goes, it's 2 nanoseconds and we're done. And it was just like, what?
These windows are 9 inches thick, and if they go, it's sayonara in 2 microseconds.
Like, oh God, he's so over the top in the beginning, and then he settles into a better character. But
interesting, Bill Paxton, huh? Bill Paxton.
That line was just laughable, and I wasn't even into the movie yet, and so for me, worst line.
Wow, that's not good if you can already find a bad line right off the bat.
I was worried.
That's not good. Okay, my line was delivered by Leonardo DiCaprio, aka Jack Dawson. It was when they were running away from Hoxley, Cal's henchman, and it's right before they get in the car and they have their sweaty love moment. Yeah! They're running away, and they're running through all these rooms, and they run through the boiler room. And Leo, he tells all the workers there, this is what, as he's running, carry on, don't mind us, you're doing a great job.
Carry on, don't mind us, you're doing a great job, keep up the good work.
I hated that line. I turned to my wife and I said, that's it right there. That's it. It sucks. So again, overacting. I don't.
That's the story of this movie for you, Leo, and overacting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Mine's the tale of two films. Like, I don't need the love story in the first half of the film. I want the second half of the film. It's a technical marvel. It's emotional. It's deep. I don't know that I didn't. Their love story is not important to me. That 2,000 people that had to go through this tragedy was. So
Yeah, but I think you need the love story as much as I really enjoy the second half when the iceberg hits, right? That when before
yeah,
everything happens. I think you need it. I think you need to develop that relationship. And I can appreciate the love story. I just can't appreciate the fact that it takes 3 hours and 17 minutes to tell the story.
yeah, it's a whirlwind romance of a weekend
Yeah.
for Rose.
Yeah. I mean, she finds, yeah, like you said, it's a whirlwind, and she finds herself in a matter of 2 days. She finds who she really is in a matter of 2 days. So I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
mean at max 3, like right, it was a 7-day journey, and I think it was about halfway through when they got hit by the
Yeah.
iceberg.
I don't know, but here's a fun fact, everybody. The Titanic sank a day before Chris's birthday. So his birthday is April 14th. The Titanic sank on April 15th. Fun fact, people.
Fun fact. Yeah.
And my friend, I got to be honest with you, that is how I remember your birthday.
Oh, that's awesome. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah, my birthday is associated with also I think Lincoln's assassination. So
You are
I-
are a good luck charm to the
I-
world, my
ever
friend.
since it's been smooth sailing for April 14th. They dare you to find a bad date or a bad thing that happened that day.
It's okay. Watch, people are gonna start finding
know,
a bunch
right?
of crap.
Thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs down.
You're so screwed. What else? What else do you want to call out?
Okay, so I was gonna say that I actually enjoy the artist scene. It's a scene where it actually feels like they're connecting a little bit more. I just wanted to throw the fun fact out that that's actually James Cameron's hand that is sketching and not Leonardo DiCaprio's. So
Very good.
I had to throw
Very
that.
good.
And I found out that he is actually a lefty, and so they had to transpose the shot in order for it to look like it was right-handed, because that's what Leo was doing every time he was looking intently.
Just to add to that, I think it's sold for like $16,000.
Really?
Something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I could see
So,
that.
and I agree with that scene. It's done classy. It's not very it's not so gratuitous where it's done pretty classy, I thought. So, you know,
Kate Winslet was tried to break the ice quickly, knowing that she was going to have to do that scene with him, and so she flashed Leonardo DiCaprio on the first, and she met him so that they could just get that out of the way.
get out of the way.
Yep.
That's it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All
That's
right.
how we
Cool.
say hello in Britain.
Hello. Hello, governor. Just wanted to do that.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Did you cry in this movie, or did you even, was there any type of emotion for you in it?
No, and I can't say that I never did. I've seen this movie plenty of times now.
Mhm.
But like this time around, no. This time around, I was actually more fascinated with like the story in general. Like we forget sometimes because it's a Hollywood production and it's, you know, over dramatized and you know, this whirlwind romance at the beginning of the film. But like this was a serious event, like a major event, and it's heartbreaking. Like
Yeah.
to think about all the people that perished in this for foolishness, you know, for lack of preparedness and for all these reasons, and you're just like, ugh, like it's kind of gut-wrenching in that sense, where you start looking at it and watching, you know, the finer details and realizing that like this was really going on, like this happened to people. Like that's very traumatic and unfortunate, and I can't imagine living through it and being somebody who survived it and remembering that. Like that's a nightmare. Like
Yeah.
if it's anything close to what the second half of the film is, it's a nightmare.
Yeah. 1,500 people, about 1,500 people died because they didn't want the top of the deck to look clutter because they didn't fill it up
They
with
wanted to be
lifeboats.
fast. They
It's
were
sad.
like, it's never going to sink.
Yeah.
Never going to sink. And it's never going to go down. There's no need for this stuff. Yeah. Unfortunate.
For me, I think there wasn't a whole lot of emotion for me like there was in Armageddon. Shout out to Armageddon always.
Always.
But I mean, there was a scene there where this older man and this older lady are hugging and they're in bed, and they kind of know that that's their demise, that they're gonna die together. The mother putting her kids to bed, you know, having them fall asleep because you know they're not going to be saved. So there's those moments, but for some reason, it wasn't gut wrenching for me.
Yeah, and again, I feel like it's two different movies. It's a romance in the beginning, and then in the second half, it's a survival film. You know, it's a disaster survival film where, you know, you're hoping that Jack and Rose are going to make it out, and you're hoping all these people are going to make it out, and you're just wondering how is it going to work, because you know, they've set it up. There's not enough lifeboats, and then they're there's chaos and they weren't prepared. And so yeah, it's tense in that regard. Now that you know what's coming, it's, you know, becomes more of a looking at the details of, I start to look up like how they did this stuff, because it's a pretty impressive feat to be shooting something like this. They had a giant water tank to do these scenes, like
Yeah.
just, you know, having to like flood sets with amount of waters to, you know, show what, you know, it'd be like if you were sinking. It's just, there's a lot of cool stuff going on that when you're in the moment of the movie, you're not thinking about. Now it's fun to catch those things.
Can we talk about the music? We know we talked about the score, but let's talk about Celine Dion for a little bit, because in 97, 98, My Heart Will Go On was everywhere. You cannot get away from it. It was Frozen's Let It Go. It was everywhere. You turn on the radio, it was My Heart Will Go On. And I'm not a big Celine Dion fan. I don't think she's bad. I think she's got a great voice. I'm just not a big fan. But I like this song, and I think it was everywhere. And I don't care. I mean, it was overplayed, but it was good. It was good. So
Yeah. And to think she didn't even want to do it.
She didn't?
Nope. She did not want to touch it. And her husband convinced her, and she did it. And yeah, one of the biggest songs. I mean, Aerosmith tried with, you know, with Armageddon, but
it was good. It was really good.
It's good still, but it wasn't this. I mean, people's proms were, you know, My Heart Will Go On, and it was, you know, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
So I had the soundtrack. Did you have the soundtrack?
I did have the soundtrack, which was like a score and then her song, right? It was that was the only song at the end. Was your prom a Titanic prom?
No, I think somebody's definitely was, you know, at some point, but I remember seeing that, but no, not ours, but I do remember.
Okay. Yeah. I can't remember my prom. I don't think it was Titanic, but that would have been pretty cool. Anyways, we're getting off track here.
Right.
Kathy Bates. We haven't talked about Kathy Bates. Molly,
like MVP of the movie.
She's great. I love a Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates, great.
That I feel like has to be like that unsinkable Molly Brown has to be like the correlation or the connection to her boss character in The Office. I'm trying to think Joe, right? For Saber, like
Saber.
Very like authoritative and quick wit and like doesn't take any crap. It just reminded me of that when watching this again, and I was like, she's so good.
She's great. Kathy Bates, you're great, Kathy Bates.
You might have to do oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Misery at some point.
Misery.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good one.
It is. It's a scary one.
She's incredible.
She was good in Fried Green Tomatoes. That was a good one too.
Yes, and About Schmidt with Jack Nicholson. She was fantastic as well.
All right, we're getting off track here. We're getting Kathy Bates.
Shout out to Kathy Bates.
Yes, Kathy Bates.
We haven't decided. Maybe Mount Rushmore. We'll see.
Maybe Mount Rushmore, Kathy Bates. I was thinking Bill Paxton as well.
Ooh,
so
that's a good one. Our Mount Rushmore is not held to any number of people. We're just going to put however many people out there we want.
That's true. Very true.
The second half of the movie, while technically beautiful, again, is like, here's the script is just my problem with this movie. That's my biggest complaint. The second half of the movie, and I know that like these are people that are looking for each other and you know, trying to get each other's attention in chaos, but it's a lot of Jack and Rose back and forth. Like that's the dialogue. Jack says Rose, Rose says Jack. And it's like, I just imagine the script if I was to like, Jack yells Rose, Rose whimpers Jack. Like it's just an hour of that. And there's even like a YouTube at some point that does a counter for how many times Jack said in the movie, because it's just like Jack, 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 Jack. Oh. You're welcome.
I like the band. I really like the band. There's something really cool about the band and how they write the scene where they played their last song and they're all walking away. And then I don't know, I think it's the violinist that he comes back and he starts playing and all his members come back and they just start playing with him together. It's a really neat moment, I thought. So, and I don't know if that really happened or not, but it did. Okay. Yep. Yeah.
At least in the, you know, that specific, you know, where they decide to stop playing and then they start playing again. I don't know that specific, but they were actually up on the deck playing music. Like, we can't do anything else, so we're just gonna, you know, try to keep the crowds calm. But yeah, that part, that's almost as touching as, you know, more touching than when Leo passes. You know, I think that,
yeah,
you know, that's such a sweet sentimental moment that I loved it. Yeah, good call
out. Leo, the finale. I don't. There's can't be any spoilers on this movie because I feel like the whole world has seen it. When he dies at the end and She lets him go. Uh, I don't know, man. I like, I know it's sad, and he saved her life, and then she goes, I'll never let go, and then she lets him go, and that was it. And I don't know. It didn't it didn't do it for me. I understand that he was trying to save her life again by keeping her on the raft. I've always thought, what if he got on the raft or the door as well? I wonder if they would have both made it.
There's like a lot of internet theories when it comes to that,
Yeah.
she was selfish and she could have shared
She was selfish.
yeah, she could have shared the table, the door,
The door.
It
Yeah.
looks like there's enough room on there, but
Yeah. Like, what would have happened at the end? Let's say they both survived. Then what? What would have they done? She would have gone and married him and just traveled the world. I mean,
it would have sold all the pictures that he would have drawn of her. She would have been famous
there you go.
in
There you go.
Paris.
Or played poker and won a lot of cruise ship tickets.
Yeah, or I don't know, maybe she was a ballet dancer.
I don't know. Sorry. I'm going off tangent here. All right, whatever.
Yeah, it's funny because again, like that part, you're like, at this point, I mean, everybody else except her was like dead in the water. She lived because she was partially out of the water. I would have thought she would have been dead from hypothermia anyway, but I like that, like they kind of call out that she's like laying there accepting that she's going to die, and then like something snaps in her and she kind of hears Jack's voice again to like, just survive, keep going on, and she jumps out in the water and grabs the whistle.
Cool. I don't really have anything else with Titanic, so if you were ready to rate, let's we haven't decided what we're going to do for the rating.
We didn't. I had options like, how many hearts of the ocean, or roses, or jacks, or
how about icebergs? Too much?
Icebergs?
Too soon?
Too on the nose.
Oh my gosh.
So what do you think? Icebergs?
I think icebergs. Icebergs. Let's go with icebergs. So icebergs. We're going to rate this movie with icebergs. 1 out of 5. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. So because you kind of have a love and hate thing going with this, I'm going to let you go first.
All right. I'm going to go 3.5 icebergs. 3.5 icebergs. I want to give it 3, but it's just too technically sound. So like I said, if you're going to go like a letter grade, like the first half of the movie is a C to me, and the second half's an A, and so this is like a B-ish plus movie.
Okay.
I enjoy it for its technical marvel and how amazing a production it was to put on.
Yeah.
The script's just lacking for me, so I can't watch it all the time. It's just not something I can always turn on. If it's on, I'll pay attention for a little bit, but I don't really want to watch this all the time.
Sure. Let me ask you a question. Would your rating have changed if you had seen this movie back in 1997 in the theater?
Likely, because I think you have that like emotional connection to that time and where you saw it and who you saw it with, and seeing it for the first time and seeing it in theaters, like liking Independence Day a lot more because I saw it in theaters, but it's not really that good of a movie.
It's not. We're not talking about Independence Day.
But that's what I'm trying to say is like, I think there would have been, a little bit more love for this movie if I would have actually seen it in theaters.
Gotcha. Which goes to show you that theaters aren't dead. So go catch that episode on FYC.
Good plug.
There you go. All right, my turn. I'm going to rate this movie. I think it's a good movie. I think the director, I love the director. I think Jack and Rose are a little bit too much for me, a little bit of overacting. However, the score is great. The movie it flows pretty well. It's long. I'm gonna go with 4 icebergs with this movie. 4. It won 11 Oscars for a reason, including Best Picture and Best Score. So it's not a 5, but it's a 4. But I can totally understand if this movie is a 5 for people. This movie is why we go to the theaters. This movie is why we pay good money to go sit in front of a big screen and watch this. This is why movies are made, and this movie is such a good movie because of that. And James Cameron, like I said before, he is one of the best directors that in my personal opinion, of our lifetime. So this is why we go to the movies, people. Titanic.
I agree. Can't argue with it. 4, 3.5. I think it's solid, man. I think it's solid. Like this movie. It's a solid movie. It still holds up.
I think 3.5 is a little low.
I mean, come at
That's
me.
just me.
I could go to 3, you know.
Oh my
Start
gosh.
poking holes. I think
you
I
need
was
to
saying-
stop. No, just stay at 3.5. Don't go to 3. It's all right. Don't go to 3.
It's time for the ship to sail, man.
Ooh, look at that. There's
Yeah.
this pun right there, people.
And we will make it to the next episode. No icebergs ahead.
Sounds good.
Look forward to it. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We appreciate it. Let us know what you think. Let us know when the last time you watched Titanic is and how much you love Leo. So I've been your host, Chris. And with me as always,
Ronaldo. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.